Hey, I'm Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. In this video, we're driving all 105 miles of Skyline Drive in Shenandoah National Park. The Skyline in Virginia is one of the oldest scenic highways in the U.S. We've made a lot of videos on Skyline Drive, but not like this one. We're going the distance. For this video, we're accessing Shenandoah National Park before the first mile marker at the front Royal entrance near Interstate 66 at US 340. Our adventure begins right now as we enter the park. There's a $30 access fee per vehicle, and it's good for 7 days. Carolyn and I always purchase a season pass, which is $55. As often as we're here on Skyline, a season pass saves us several $100s throughout the year. It may come as a shock that there's a fee, but you have to keep in mind that 108 U.S. national parks charge fees. Next year, we're upgrading to the $80 America the Beautiful Pass that gets you into any U.S. national park and other fee areas. Anyway, Skyline Drive is the only road in Shenandoah National Park, and it runs north and south for 105 miles along the ridge line of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Normally, it takes about 3 hours to travel the entire length of the park, but it's going to take us a lot longer. In this video, we're capturing all 75 overlooks and all of the park's waysides and lodges as well. But to get all this in 1 day is a Herculean task, so this is a great time to explain how this video works. Skyline Drive offers different scenic views depending on the direction you're driving. Today, just for you, we're taking the time to show you all of the amazing views coming from the north and from the south. There may be quite a few YouTube videos made on the Skyline, but not a single video is going to show you every possible view in all 75 overlooks. But this video isn't all about the scenery. I'm going to be jumping in here and there to give you some factual and interesting information about Skyline Drive and Shenandoah National Park. Without a doubt, this is the longest video we've ever made, and long videos aren't always recommended on YouTube. This video is a labor of love, so I really hope you'll stick around and watch this video all the way to the end. If you haven't already, hit that like button. There are links in the description, and please leave a comment, and we'll try our very best to answer any of your questions. Our journey is already underway, so enjoy. But let's just be honest, covering all 105 miles isn't going to be easy. Let me explain why. It's 105 miles. Think about that for a minute. Even if you were going 70 miles an hour, what is that? A little over an hour drive, but think about it. 35 miles an hour, that's the speed limit through most of Skyline Drive. Not to mention the fact that you're stopping on every overlook. This is gonna take a while, so we're actually hoping that we can do this whole thing in 1 day and get every overlook in. It's gonna be difficult, but hopefully you'll stay with us. Let's see what happens. All year long on Skyline Drive, there's something amazing to see and new discoveries. That being said, there are also some things you have to look out for during the different seasons. For example, during the winter, Skyline Drive shuts down frequently because of weather. It snows a lot up here. And during the summer, you may have already noticed this, but there's a lot of haze, and so it makes the overlooks a little less colorful, but they're still absolutely beautiful. Now, if you've watched our videos for a few years now, you know that we've covered Skyline Drive, and we've provided a lot of information about Skyline Drive. And some of that information will be in this video as well, because you never know when you have a new person that's checking out the channel for the first time, and I want to make sure that I've provided some great information about this amazing national park. It may seem hard to believe, but where we access Skyline Drive at Front Royal is just 75 miles from Washington, D.C. Something Carolyn and I noticed when we first started visiting the park is that people from D.C. and as far away as New York City will drive down to Skyline Drive just to enjoy a mountaintop sunset and then drive back. And I can't say I blame them. Shenandoah National Park is long and narrow. It's about 300 square miles of amazing mountains. The park encompasses parts of 8 Virginia counties, including Warren, Page, Rockingham, Augusta, Rappahannock, Madison, Greene, and Albemarle. The park headquarters is in Luray, Virginia. I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's worth mentioning again. Politicians were pushing for this park as early as 1901, but it wasn't until May 1925 that Congress and President Calvin Coolidge authorized the National Park Service to acquire the land to form Shenandoah National Park. But the park wasn't actually established until December 26, 1935, and it was dedicated by Franklin Roosevelt that summer, July 3, 1936. Like many U.S. national parks, Shenandoah's origin story is a bit controversial. Unlike many Western parks, which were established to preserve wilderness on land already owned by the federal government, Shenandoah National Park was created using land that was already in use. The lands in the park were heavily populated and had been used over the centuries by farmers and miners. In fact, this area had been logged since the 1700s. The park was created from privately owned land. Eminent domain was used to remove 5,000 residents from these mountains, and that number is probably a lot higher. So Shenandoah National Park was the first park created from a large populated area of land owned by private individuals. It's been called a recycled wilderness. Nevertheless, Skyline Drive is the first National Park Service road east of the Mississippi River, listed as a National Historic Landmark on the National Register of Historic Places. It's also designated as a National Scenic Byway. A National Scenic Byway is a road recognized by the Department of Transportation for intrinsic qualities, listed as archaeological, cultural, historic, natural, recreational, and scenic. And if you're a dog lover, you'll appreciate the fact that in the entire national park system, Shenandoah National Park is one of the most dog-friendly. The campgrounds all allow dogs, and if kept on a leash, dogs are allowed on almost all the trails, including the Appalachian Trail. So Carol and I stopped at Elk Hollow Wayside, just off Skyline Drive. You're still on the Skyline Drive. It's one of several different shops where you can pick up picnic supplies, stretch your legs, use the restroom, all of those kind of things. There's picnic tables here. You can walk the dog. Great place to stop, and there are several of these along Skyline Drive. Speaking of the Appalachian Trail, 101 of the 2,200 miles of the Appalachian Trail are right here in Shenandoah National Park. I've made several videos hiking on various trails in the park, including portions of the Appalachian Trail. And if I'm able to stick to my plans, I'll have another hiking video coming out soon that I'm making just down the road from where we're driving right now. Driving through Shenandoah National Park on Skyline Drive is wonderful, but hiking adds a whole new level of appreciation and enjoyment. Hiking here is as challenging as you want it to be. Shenandoah National Park offers 196,000 acres of backcountry, including 80,000 acres of wilderness area to explore. But you're going to have to share the woods with as many as 8,000 deer and 500 bears and yes, snakes. More on snakes later. There are more than 500 miles of trails to enjoy in the park. Some trails lead to scenic waterfalls or amazing scenic views, while other trails will take you deep into the wilderness. Like I mentioned earlier, the park entrance at Front Royal, Virginia is only 75 miles from Washington, D.C., but the North District of Shenandoah National Park, the part closest to D.C., is the most secluded area in the park. But Shenandoah National Park isn't anywhere near as secluded as mountain ranges in the southern Appalachian Mountains, and for many people, that's more of a reason to visit. But it's still an enormous area, and besides, a wilderness is still a wilderness. If you're planning to visit Shenandoah National Park, make plans to leave your car for at least a couple of hours and hike a trail. Even if you're driving straight through the park on Skyline, there are many trails where you can enjoy a 1 or 2 hour hike and enjoy an entirely different experience at Shenandoah. And some of these hikes aren't as difficult as you may expect. For example, hiking to Hawksbill Summit, the park's highest point at 4,051 feet, well, it isn't as difficult as you might think, even though there is a considerable elevation gain. So visiting Skyline Drive in the middle of the summer can be kind of annoying because of all of the haze in the air. But I'll tell you something that's amazing, and that's wildflowers. All around these overlooks are amazing wildflowers, and the fragrance is amazing. It just perfumes the air, and it's just awesome. I mean, you're walking around and you just can't get it out of your nose. Of course, if you have allergies like I do, you may need to take a Benadryl. But I'm just saying, it's just absolutely awesome. Carolyn and I have been hard at it for about 4 hours now. We're about ready for a small picnic. I think we're going to be able to get the whole thing in, but I'm not really sure because it's taken us a lot of time just to try to get to the halfway point. But we're getting there slowly but surely. It's an amazing day. Again, there's a lot of haze, but I'm telling you, it's awesome. Visiting Skyline Drive is amazing any time of year. Shenandoah National Park has amazing scenic picnic grounds. They have charcoal grills and restrooms. Accessible sites are available too. There's something for the whole family. We passed a couple of these picnic areas earlier in the video. The first was called Dickey Ridge and the second was Elk Wallow. Today we're picnicking at Pinnacle's picnic area, but there are 4 additional picnic areas along the way, including Dundo Picnic Area, which is our family's favorite. In fact, we've made 3 videos at Dundo for our channel. By the way, we have an entire Skyline Drive playlist on YouTube. I'll be sure to leave a link at the end of this video. But Carolyn and I don't have a lot of time to enjoy this picnic like we normally do because we're not even to the halfway point yet. We've got to eat fast. We've never picnicked here before, and I got to be honest with you, summertime picnics aren't my favorite because of insects and humidity and all that stuff. But nevertheless, it's time to have a picnic, and that's one of the things I love about Skyline Drive. There's plenty of places to use the restroom. There's plenty of places to have picnics. It's just a great place for the entire family. And this is a perfect time in the video to take just a minute to say that if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for always stopping back by and watching our videos. And if you're new to this channel, welcome to our channel. I hope you're enjoying the content so far, and we have so much more to go. It's picnic time, which is a great time for you to choose to hit that subscribe button as we go forward in this video and see some amazing scenery. But first, I'm gonna have one of these sandwiches because she's amazing. Like, she knows the right stuff to buy, the perfect meat, the perfect cheese. It's gonna be wonderful. While leaving Pinnacle's picnic area and still tasting our delicious lunch, we met this traveler. You know, I've lived in the Deep South for most of my life, and I only saw one poisonous snake. There are 16 species of non-poisonous snakes in Shenandoah National Park and 2 poisonous, timber rattlesnakes and copperheads. Despite the fact that there are 16 species of non-poisonous snakes, we haven't seen a single non-poisonous snake. Instead, we've seen 2 timber rattlesnakes over the past 3 summers. Just letting you know now, it's possible to come across a snake while hiking or leaving a picnic area, so watch your step. Since this was an active picnic area, we notified someone from the Park Service, and we kept our distance. There are over 60 mountain peaks with elevations over 3,000 feet. And like I mentioned earlier, Hawksbill is the highest peak at 4,051 feet. 95% of the park is covered in forest, and it's home to 267 species of trees and shrubs, 50 species of mammals, 32 species of fish, 27 species of reptiles, 200 species of birds, and trust me, the list continues. The largest black bear refuge in Virginia is in Shenandoah. There are lots of animals in these woods. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Shenandoah salamander, which I've actually seen once, but at the time I didn't know it was a big deal, so I didn't record it. Shenandoah National Park is the only place you'll find the Shenandoah salamander. I guess it's just a homebody and doesn't get out much. The Skyland Resort predates Shenandoah National Park. Built in 1895, it was originally called Stony Man Camp. Located along mile 41.7 of Skyline Drive, the elevation here is 3,680 feet, and this location provides amazing sweeping views of the Shenandoah Valley. It was built by George Freeman Pollock to provide a place where affluent people from major cities would come to relax and recreate. The 1890s were the beginning of upper-class leisure and vacation, and Pollock saw a way to make money from city folk looking for an adventure, but not so much as to miss the finer things in life. George Pollock was a real showman. Skyland wasn't just about being a rustic mountain getaway. It was also about entertainment. While Pollock wasn't much of a businessman, he was a fantastic promoter. There were elaborate balls, costume parties, teas, jousts, tournaments, musicals, pageants, and even bonfires. Every morning, a bugle awoke guests, summoning them to meals where entertainment was provided. It was very popular, but Pollock never became rich from his resort. In 1931, Skyland was taken over by Shenandoah National Park. These days, it's a full-service lodge. The restaurant here is what you probably expect. Carolyn and I have dined here once back in 2018. Lodging accommodations range from premium rooms to detached small cabins, preferred and traditional rooms, suites, and pet-friendly rooms. There are 28 separate buildings along the ridge and in the wooded areas on over 27 acres of the national park. In the summer and fall, it's extremely busy. You really need to book in advance, and yes, there's a link in the description. This is a great place to bring the whole family. It really is a nice mountaintop resort. There is a conference hall here, and there's horseback riding.
Now, let me be clear, I'm pretty sure they don't let you ride horses in the conference hall. I'm just saying. So Carolyn and I have been visiting Skyline Drive for 3 summers now. This is the 3rd summer. And I'm telling you, we've never seen it as hazy as it's been this summer. And today is the haziest of all the days that we've been here this summer. The weather is hot and humid and muggy, especially for Skyline Drive, and it's crowded. And that's what you can expect on Skyline Drive in the summer. We finally arrived at the halfway point, or close to it, at Big Meadows. On July 3, 1936, President Franklin Roosevelt and thousands of guests gathered here at Big Meadows and dedicated Shenandoah National Park. Big Meadows Lodge was complete 3 years later. Carolyn and I take the telescope here during the fall, late spring, and early summer for some amazing stargazing, and we're joined by hundreds of others. So it's kind of a popular place for stargazing. Lodging accommodations range from main lodge rooms, detached small cabins, preferred and traditional rooms, suites, and pet-friendly rooms, all located within walking distance of the main lodge building, which is very historic. Big Meadows is a lot like Skyland. There are gift shops, cabins, camping, and so on. And when it comes to lodges on Skyline, well, honestly, they're mostly the same, with only a few differences. Personally, I think they missed an opportunity with these 3 lodges by not making them extremely unique, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, Skyland is all about the scenic views, and it's historic, like Big Meadows. But Big Meadows is tucked away in the forest, and it's always busy. After all, it's right in the middle of Skyline. And here's something to remember. There's a gas station at Big Meadows. There's no easy way to say it. We were running out of time, and I was getting worried about this video. It was so incredibly hazy, and it turns out the haze was worse because of forest fires out west. But look at this amazing continuous shot. It's like a Martin Scorsese moment, and trust me, shots like this aren't easy. We have an entire Skyline Drive playlist where we spend more time diving into sections of Shenandoah National Park. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. Now those are shorter videos. See, YouTube doesn't really like longer videos like this one, and considering the haze, well, I was worried, so I really need your help. First, if you're already a subscriber or if you watch a lot of our videos, make sure you're subscribed and that the bell is clicked for notifications. And if this is your first time to our channel, thank you so much for watching this much of the video, and it probably means that you like the content at least a little, and you might like some of our other videos. So please subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the bell for notifications. But what really helps is when you comment and click the like button. Interactions, questions, comments, and even helpful criticism will help this video and my channel a whole lot. So thank you so much, and let's keep driving. We're running out of daylight.
Along this 105-mile stretch of the Skyline Drive here in Virginia, there are at least 4 amphitheaters to choose from, I think, more or less. But our favorite has to be here at Loft Mountain. In fact, this is our favorite wayside along Skyline Drive. We've come up here a lot. We feel like it's our home away from home. And this is our favorite amphitheater, and I'm sure you can tell why. Would you look at that view? It's amazing. So each one of these waysides, they kind of offer the same thing: camping, picnicking, camping store, a souvenir gift shop, information, and some place to charge your car. I wish they had a place to charge just your phone. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. And here's the thing, that would be my only criticism at all, would be that they're not really that unique one from another. They're kind of all the same. And that's something that really differentiates Skyline Drive from Blue Ridge Parkway. There aren't a lot of amenities on Blue Ridge Parkway at all. I mean, that's what I love about it. But I gotta admit, being 47 years old, getting older, it's nice to have restrooms and running water every so many miles. I mean, that, I gotta admit, that's pretty nice. Maybe it was a bad idea to try to get all of Skyline Drive in one day and make a video, because it's 5:45 and we have a long way to go. There are 3 shots in this video that are probably the best I've ever captured for this channel, especially that last 50-second sweeping view of the mountains. Wow, I'm hitting the like button for that. I might even leave a comment just for that shot. Normally, that would have been a part of the intro, and trust me, you'll see it again, but not in this video. We had to hurry, and in fact, I'm having to hurry now while editing this video. Capturing every overlook takes longer than you might imagine. And by the way, the air conditioner went out in the truck on this trip, and that wasn't too pleasant. But at least it was a little cooler up in the mountains.
Despite the haze, despite the heat, Carol and I made it all 105 miles of Skyline Drive, and it only took us 10 and a half hours, which it seems like a long time, but when you're stopping at every look-off, every opportunity, which is what you've seen in this video, every opportunity that we could stop at an overlook and video, that's exactly what we did, and it took us about 10 and a half hours. But it was an amazing trip. Again, it's very warm today, it's hazy today, so it's not a typical situation here on Skyline Drive. Nevertheless, 10 and a half hours also includes about a 45-minute picnic. It also includes several restroom breaks, several times that we got out and just kind of stretched our legs. So, you know, if you take 2 hours away from that, then maybe you could drive and still see all the overlooks, stop for a second on the overlooks. You could probably do it in 8 hours because, again, you're going to take a little extra time doing things like this right here if you're doing a YouTube thing. It's definitely doable. It's worth your time. Skyline Drive is amazing. Listen, I have an entire playlist about the Skyline Drive. Check it out. It's in the corner of your screen now. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. Hey, if you like this video, you'll probably like one of these videos too.